The Hedgeless Horseman here. I thought I'd do a follow-up video to my last video that talked about the Egina lag gravels and my hypothesis of how to track them. So I decided to take a look at another area where there's been a lot of surface workings, and these are the workings that I basically found and marked, and this is the Friendly Creek area where there's been a lot of alluvial and alluvial mining for quite a long time, I would say. And if I zoom down, you can see that there's a bunch of scrapings and trenches and stuff like that. More scrapings here. I guess they're a bit older. But yeah, basically it follows this trend here, and it stops right about here. Just to show you a bit more. Disturbed ground, trenches, more trenches, possible scrapings. Yeah, anyway. So just to test my thesis, I decided to look up this area with the mapping tool. So this is basically the trend I just showed you, and some of the scrapings are already mapped out, and for example, Pilbara Top Camp 1, if you read the details, Regolith residual to alluvial placers. So I decided to see what the Regolith ratio would show for this area, where there's been pretty much the same activity as up in Egina to the north. So let's take a look. Well, as you can see, we find this dark red or brownish color here, and basically the scrapings seem to have followed this trend to the northeast. I didn't find a lot of scrapings here, and I didn't find a lot of scrapings here. And I think the road goes something like this. So, I mean, it's understandable that they would be, I don't know if they made the discoveries and then put in a road, but I guess people don't want to go too far off-road. Let's see if I can find the road. Oh, well, here's a road. So I don't know how accessible this area to the south is and this area to the north, but for some reason there's a lot of scrapings here, and a road that basically goes something like this, I think. Well, so this looks basically like the Egina area, where I guess this is the areas with the most heavy accumulation of loose gravel and stuff like that. And let's see what happens if we put on the ferrous iron index, which again I urge you to look at my last video, but basically my theory is that this index might be tracking areas where there's a lot of magnetite and stuff, basically heavy materials, heavy minerals, and where there's heavy materials such as iron. I would guess that's also a natural spot for alluvial gold to gather as well. Oh, wrong. Lo and behold, we can see the same trend here. Goes northeast and basically follows the scrapings along the way, and it was the same when you basically looked at the greater terrace at Egina, that the high ferrous iron index readings coincided with dark red to brownish regolith ratio readings. So I mean, it's just two data points, if you will, but these two areas, Egina and the Friendly Creek, are the most worked areas, I think, and they show basically the exact similar patterns. And I don't know if this is prospective as well, and I just assume that no one has really gone out here, basically not strayed too far from the road that I think goes something like this. And just as a last thing to show you, if I zoom in on this area, you can see heavy readings, and I put out a tweet a few days ago where I had gone through an old Chalice Gold exploration report, a legacy report, where there was a prospector who had basically drawn this map where he found a lot of gold. I think the report mentioned massive amounts of nuggets, and I don't think that, or I think that each dot is not each nugget. It's just basically represents a lot of nuggets. But anyway, so you can see there's some open coastlands here, and a big nugget was supposedly found here, rumored at least, in '96. But there's like a big nugget field with some coastlands, and I'm pretty sure that corresponds to this old mining lease or claim, and you can see this dried up river or drainage, and I'm pretty sure that's this drainage. I'm just gonna put on dead tenements. Yeah, basically this square here. Okay, so that's the same area. And that's basically smack in the middle of the dark red regolith ratio readings, and the ferrous iron index readings, yeah, also shows up with very high readings. So 2 for 2 so far. There are no guarantees, but until I've been proven wrong, I'll stick with my hypothesis that this might be an okay method to track some of the more heavy accumulations of basically heavy material, and hopefully gold concentrations. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Bye.